film fan, so I just finished watching Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore, and this is definitely the better movie out of the three in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. So, Professor Albus Dumbledore knows the powerful dark wizard Gellert Grindelwald is moving to seize control of the wizarding world. Unable to stop him alone, he entrusts magic zoologist Newt Scamander to lead an intrepid team of wizards, witches, and one very brave Muggle Baker on a dangerous mission, where they encounter old and new beasts that clash with Grindelwald's growing legion of followers. But with the stakes so high, how can Dumbledore remain on the sidelines? So this is definitely the better of the three out of this particular trilogy franchise. It has a 46% on the Rotten Tomatoes scale, and given how slow these movies have been in the past with the previous two, I think it might have deserved just a little bit higher, because this movie, the acting was phenomenal. It was really, really well done. I'm not saying like should have been up like 80s, 90s, but definitely like 50s, 60s, at least a little bit higher than what it's been given so far. It released early last year and flopped horrendously in the box office. This film only made $95.8 million during its time in the box office, and that is the lowest of the previous two films and any movie in the Harry Potter franchise. This film failed miserably, and I think it actually deserved better than that, because it is the better of the three movies. It was directed by David Yates, who has directed the previous two in the Fantastic Beast franchise, as well as the majority of the movies in the Harry Potter franchise. So it was nice to see that David Yates take on this other project, because it takes place in the same world. However, I think it still could have been done better. It had a $200 million production budget, as the same as the previous two movies. They had the same production budget and didn't come close to breaking even in the box office, which that's pretty particular and pretty unfortunate. I actually did see this film for the first time when it released in theaters with a couple of friends, and it's definitely worth watching. The CGI in this film is phenomenal. There's a lot going on in this film. There's a bunch of different creatures and a bunch of different scenes, so I think that was super well done. The CGI never fails. I mean, it's the wizarding world, so you have to expect that things and mechanics are going to work differently, and they're not just going to be copy and paste items of each other. So that definitely made a huge difference in these films. One of the major things is that because of all the things that were going on with Johnny Depp at the time, he was not in this film, so they brought back Michelson, and that kind of irritated me a little bit, and that irritates me no matter what, if characters are not the same in every other film, because you kind of lose that consistency, you lose that character, you lose that personality. All actors portray characters differently, so you just kind of lose that, and that did take away a little bit from this film, because I mean, you didn't have Johnny Depp, and it was a last minute changeover, and it was just missing that personality from the previous film, and I think that was kind of a major loss, and that was kind of a fail on Warner Brothers' part. So it is what it is. We got the movie we got. It's not a horrible movie, but I definitely did miss Johnny Depp playing Grindelwald in this film. The mirror in the pub. If you pay close attention and you've seen the Harry Potter movies, that particular mirror also appears in the Harry Potter movies, except it's in a very different location. It is still in Aberforth's possession, but it's now downstairs in a dirty, grungy room, and it's missing a section. The section that it's missing is that section, of course, that Harry keeps seeing these blue eyes in. So that mirror does definitely appear in the series, so that was something else I was able to pick out as, a massive Harry Potter fan. Definitely kind of created a nice connection between this particular film and the, of course, Harry Potter movies. You see a lot of political unrest in this film, and I've got to be careful with this one. I'm not someone that's overly into politics and into, the back and forth and all of that stuff, so I was definitely kind of lost during that scene, and it's just all of a sudden, oh, here's an election, and here's all these different candidates, but we're not going to tell you what's going on, we're not going to tell you who's running, and we're not going to tell you background about anybody. So you're kind of missing a little bit of character development here, where it's like, I know that guy, but who are you people? Like, it's missing, and I'm really not into politics, so that kind of bored me a little bit in this film. This film is very, very dark, as it is most likely the last film of the franchise, because Warner Brothers has announced that they have absolutely no plans for Fantastic Beasts 4, so I'm grateful for that, and before they continue to butcher this any more than, what's already been done, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, but, honest movie review, it is what it is. It does have its comical moments. I mean, there's definitely a scene where, Newt's going in to rescue Theseus, and they got to do this dance to avoid these little crab-like creatures, and it's definitely, like, hilarious, and it's probably one of the best scenes. And actually, a friend of mine, after seeing this film, we were walking out, and she was, like, doing this crab dance out of the movie theater, so that was, it was great, and it's definitely a scene worth watching. It's hilarious, and I think anybody, like, all you guys are absolutely going to enjoy that particular scene if you haven't seen the film already. You actually finally in this film get to learn Dumbledore's sexuality. And I think that really added to Dumbledore as a character in the Harry Potter movies, as well as in when he appears in the Fantastic Beasts franchise, because it's that little bit about Dumbledore that you didn't know. And actually, I didn't know this, like, maybe I was just completely oblivious to it, but he did fall in love with Gellert Grindelwald at one time, so therefore we learn that Dumbledore is, in fact, gay. And I think that really added to his character development. And now going back into the Harry Potter franchise, now that I know that fact, it's like you can look at all these things differently, and it makes sense why Dumbledore's alone. It makes sense why he never, continued on with that, because he was so hurt and jilted by what Grindelwald and happened, and it was just, it definitely added to Dumbledore's character, whether it be in the Fantastic Beasts franchise or in the Harry Potter movies. The end scene of this is absolutely wonderful. It's beautiful to see the Chillin go up to Dumbledore and him get down on one knee, and being true Dumbledore, being like, I can't accept this, there has to be someone else here that's also worthy of this title. So you definitely get to see that Dumbledore is very generous at heart, and you get to see it in the Harry Potter movies, but not as much. So it shows that he's pure, that he's got a great heart, that he cares for others, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful end scene. I think there definitely was the capability of having a Fantastic Beasts 4 made off of this one, because Grindelwald jumps off the cliff, and of course he apparates, so he's not dead. And then we do see him again in the Harry Potter films, but he's in Azkaban. So it would have been nice to see what happened between here and there, to see where that kind of could have taken the franchise and kind of could have went. So that definitely would have made a difference. So because I did enjoy this particular film of the franchise, I'm going to give it 3.5, we'll say, and I very rarely do halves, but it's not worth a 4, and it's not worth a solid 3. So I'm definitely going to give this a 3.5 on my Rotten Tomato scale, just because I did enjoy the film. There was a lot about it I liked. There was some things about it, of course, that I didn't like, that I had issues with. So if you guys haven't already, please make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications to see when the new films release. We do try and upload 3 times a week, unless there's something really going on. Until the next review, film fans, we'll see you all in the next one.